Welcome to our Sunday program today, discussing topics based on Bhagavad Gita. Today the topic is about Sanatan Dharma. That will be next few weeks. Today the topic is, what is Sanatan Dharma? What is it? We heard this term, we used to hear sometimes, but now we're hearing it a lot. Sanatan Dharma. Some people are not so clear, although that's what we are following. So it's made up of two words, Sanatan and Dharma. So I'll just chant Mangalasana, then we'll start. Nama Om Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today the topic is Sanatan Dharma. It's made up of two words, Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan, what is the meaning of Sanatan? Okay, let's see. Who knows? Meaning of Sanatan? Okay. Old people, they will know. Okay, because of Prabhupada's books, we know this. Sanatan means eternal. This word comes in Bhagavad Gita, maybe more than once. At least it comes in chapter 15, text 7, where Krishna is saying that all the living entities in this material world are my eternal fragmental parts. Mama eva angsha jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. Manashasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. So in this shlok, it said, Mama eva angsha, the living entities are my parts. Eva angsha jiva loke, jiva bhuta. Jiva bhuta means the souls who are conditioned by Maya. The conditioned souls, jiva bhuta. Then you have the liberated souls. So jiva bhuta, material souls. So Krishna is referring to the souls within this material world. He said, they're my eternal parts. Sanatana, this word comes in Bhagavad Gita. And elsewhere, again, eternal dharma, Sanatan Dharma. But it comes in chapter 11, text 18. There Arjuna tells Krishna that you are the Shashvat Dharma Gopta. You are the maintainer of the eternal religious principles. There he doesn't say Sanatan, he says Shashvat. But it's the same thing. Shashvat Dharma, the eternal function. So Sanatan means eternal. Eternal Dharma. Within Bhagavad Gita's introduction that Srila Prabhupada wrote, he wrote a lot about Sanatan there to communicate this concept. So he says there that the Supreme Lord and His transcendental abode are both Sanatan. They don't die. They are not temporary, they are eternal. Supreme Lord and His abode are Sanatan, and the living entities are also Sanatan, we. So because we are now not in the Sanatan Dham, we are not there. So the Supreme Lord is very kind, and He therefore comes to reclaim the souls back to the Sanatan abode, His Dham, the eternal abode. Because this abode, Bhutva Praliyate, it's created and destroyed, and that's very disturbing for us, jivas. Not only the material world, but this body we are in, it will die. But the jiva by nature is eternal, Sanatan. So, when he is threatened with death, he doesn't like it. Why should he stop his existence? He wants to live on. But now we are in this cycle of birth and death. So our existence is being stopped by so-called death. Actually, we don't die, body dies. But this disturbance is there. So Supreme Lord, it says here, descends to reclaim all of these fallen conditioned souls, to call them back to the Sanatana eternal sky. How does he do that? He descends himself, he performs his Leela, and then everyone gets attracted. And by leaving instructions like Bhagavad Gita. So this is in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. What about Dharma? Sanatan Dharma. Dharma. So this is also mentioned in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, introduction of Bhagavad Gita of Srila Prabhupada is a summary of the Gita in a very concise, deep, systematic way. It's also as a separate book, it's available. It covers everything very nicely. Actually, Sanatan Dharma does not refer to a religion. This is nothing about religion. But it is an eternal function. Many of you heard this who are already reading Prabhupada's books, who heard lectures. But it's an important point to understand. You have to repeat it. The eternal function of the eternal living entity in relationship with the Supreme, that function is called Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma refers to an eternal occupation which the jiva does. And there's a lot written about this by Sripad Ramanujacharya. So Ramanujacharya, he wrote a lot about this to explain. And Srila Prabhupada quoted it also. So he says, Sripad Ramanujacharya has explained the word Sanatana. Ramanujacharya is Acharya of Sri Sampradaya, by the way. He has explained the word Sanatan as that which has neither beginning nor end. Sanatan Dharma does not have a beginning. Something which doesn't have a beginning does not have an end. Cannot be ended, cannot be stopped. So when we speak of Sanatan Dharma, we refer to the eternal function of the jiva. Dharma. Nowadays when we say dharma, some people take it to mean like religion. There are different religions, but religions have beginning and end. They are what we call mundane, lokik dharmas, lokik religions, common religions. They have beginning and end. And there's something you can convert out of. So does it mean if we convert out of religion, that is not anymore the truth? No, it's always the truth. Sanatan Dharma means you cannot change. So Sanatan Dharma is not religion in the sense like we see Muslim, Hindu, Christian. It's not like that. The jiva, soul, has a function. The function of jiva is to serve God. That is his eternal occupation, Sanatan Dharma. And we may not want to do that. We may say, no, I don't want to serve God. Then we come to this material world. So when we come here, we are given this material body. This material body is under Maya. According to our desire, we are given a certain type of material body which we desired in a past life. Some desires, so we're given a suitable body. And that body we use to enjoy in this world. So now we may think, okay, I am not serving God. I did not want to serve God, I came into this world. But actually, we are serving our senses. All of us here, we are serving our senses. This is what I want, we think I want this, I want to do that. It's not really us, but senses are demanding. So we are doing, okay, I'll give money, I'll give food, I'll give a nice house, because the mind and the senses are desiring that. And depending on our body, senses will desire one thing or the other. For a example, like a pig. Pig is desiring stool, to eat stool. And the Maya and material nature has given the soul that body and pushes him, now go and eat stool. And that is he cannot refuse. That's his food. Then we are given a body of a bat, B-A-T, heard of that? Bat. What's the Hindi word for bat? Okay. So now bats, they wake up at night. At night. By force, we are told you stay awake at night, because past life you wanted to be awake all night, but human form you cannot do that. So mercifully Krishna will give a bat body, and all night we'll be awake, flying around, looking around for food, like we are roaming around at night looking something to eat. So we'll get that bat body, and in a bat body, then you cannot say, no, today I just want to see the sun one day. No, you can't, because we are under Maya. We are under Maya and that body is the agent which we are forced to be in because of our past life. So in this way, We are serving Krishna in the form of Maya. Bhiname prakritit ashtada. We are serving Krishna's separated energy. He put us under Durga. Okay, serve Maya Devi, Durga Devi. We cannot stop serving God. We will serve. Now we are serving in form of Maya and senses and body. So the eternal Sanatan occupation of the Jiva is to serve God, either directly or indirectly in the form of this material energy, material body. So Sanatan, eternal Dharma. When we say Dharma, that is something which is inseparable. It cannot be separated from the Jiva. The Jiva serves. He must serve. You cannot remove that feature from him. And water is liquid. You cannot remove that liquidity feature. The dharma of water is to be liquid. Dharma of fire is to give heat and light. Dharma of the soul is to serve. That is the Sanatan Dharma. So it's quite understanding. Here, Prabhupada writes at the end, it's the lecture. At the end, you can remember. We'll ask. In the slides, it's different. Here, there's a flow, and then at the end, you can ask a question. Yeah. So.
No, are you sharing something?
Sorry?
Projecting something?
No. Oh, that's what you want to ask. Okay, so Sanatan Dharma is not religion. It's not religion. Even this word, we may say religion, Hindu, but as you know, most of you now, by today, we read in the books that this word is not in the Vedas. It's not what we are following. We are following Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is the process by which the Jiva can awaken his eternal function of service to God. It's the process and it's the end. What is the perfection of Sanatan Dharma? Sanatan Dharma. When we practice Sanatan Dharma, gradually we awaken our love of God and desire to serve Him, which is lost now. It's not lost, it's covered. But we must serve, so we end up serving so many other things, isn't it? Some are serving the stray dogs, some are serving the political parties, or some are serving the NGO, serving the poor, but we have to serve. But in healthy condition, we meant to serve God, we meant to serve Krishna. So now, this word Hindu, it's a modern usage, but what we are following, which is based on the Vedas, what is propagated, is called Sanatan Dharma. Another word for Sanatan Dharma, very common quotes are there in Srila Prabhupada's books. He explains Sanatan Dharma, another word is Varnashrama Dharma. It is synonymous, same meaning. In one quote here in Srimad Bhagavatam, so Srila Prabhupada says, the life of a human being is a chance to prepare oneself to go back to Godhead, go back to get liberation, to go back to Vaikuntha, or to get rid of the material existence of repeated birth and death. 84 lakh species, all are condemned to die and take birth and become old and suffer disease. But the human form is special. Dharmohi tesham adhiko vishesho. What is special is that it can come out of that cycle. Human being is endowed with intelligence, discrimination, to come out of the cycle of birth and death. Okay, thus in the system of Varnashram Dharma, every man and woman is trained for this purpose. In Varnashram Dharma, training is given to escape the cycle of birth and death. That is the goal of Varnashram Dharma. Sanatan Dharma's goal is to take us out of material existence, if you follow it properly. In other words, the system of Sanatan Dharma is known also as Sanatan Dharma, or eternal occupation. The system of Varnashram Dharma prepares a man for going back to Godhead, and thus a householder is ordered to go to the forest as a Vanaprastha to acquire complete knowledge and then take sannyas prior to his inevitable death. The Varnashram Dharma had Varnas and Ashramas. The whole purpose of Varnashram is to liberate us. That's a very big task. Other religions are not saying that. They speak about going to heaven or getting some good life after death in a heavenly place. But to liberate someone, this is a very big thing, because we have to replace the whole consciousness and thought of process of this person. And he has to be regulated in every aspect of his life in such a way that he is able to come to the spiritual level. So Varnashram Dharma was meant for this purpose, is meant for this purpose. It's the method of purification in which in Sanatan Dharma we undergo. So why is Varnashram Dharma so different? For example, there are different Varnas and there are different Ashramas. The Varnas are different because the people are different. Some are inclined to do business, others want to study and read, others are inclined to manage and fight. You cannot have one size fit all, free size kind of religion. Others will just reject it. We don't want to follow this. So the system was like this, that there are different gunas, and according to the gun, someone exhibits guna karma, the work he likes to do, and the guna, according to that he can perform a certain varna, duty. And then for the varnas it was different, because the people were different, they had different religious systems according to the varna. So they'll perform that religious system according to the varna and become elevated. So this system of Varnashram Dharma, it was so perfect previously. Later it became exploitative, that some of the higher castes were exploiting the lower caste, and then it was rejected and removed. But previous to that, we are speaking about millions of years. Treta, Dwapar and some previous part of Kali Yuga, this system was going on. Whole world was ruled by kings here in Bharat. Here in Bharatvarsha, kings were ruling the whole planet. Now, even now, people are trying to conquer the whole world. British tried, almost, they couldn't. America, previously Rome, now maybe China. Everyone is trying to rule, take over, but they can't. So now the question is, how was it previously? These Rajarshi kings who are here in Bharat, who were ruling the whole planet peacefully for millions of years. Okay, you may have different history, time scale ideas, but Shastra is telling us, previous yugas, whole world was ruled from here. The question is, how could they do it? What is the answer? How could they rule? No one was fighting that, all right, why are you ruling us? And the solution, the answer is because people were happy. People were happy. They got their necessities. They were able to practice a dharmic system. And when we practice dharma, when we practice spiritual life, we become very peaceful, happy, pleased. So people were able to practice spiritual life according to their life, their mentality, their guna, their karma. They were able to practice. There was cooperation among all the different levels of society. And so why should everyone argue? Everything is going on nicely. Why to argue? Why to fight? So everyone was ruled. They had no problem with that. So the Varnashram Dharma system, it was perfect. Sanatan Dharma means that the society is stratified. Now immediately when we talk about divisions of society, people get upset, angry, or why are we doing this? But one point to note is that if you go to any country, let's say let's go to Greece or Argentina. Now if you observe the society in Argentina, you'll see there's a class of people who will be in the colleges, professors, universities, and scientists. There'll be another class who are in the politics and army. There'll be a class who are very good at business, and there'll be a class of people who are assisting these other three and following. It's already there. The Varnas are there in human society. And so, when Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha, that I am the creator of these four orders, which are according to Guna and Karma, we see that actually Krishna made it. He already made it. Now the thing is, the Vedas give how to properly organize it and train everybody. in such a way that everyone will be happy in a system of religion. So this is the Varnashram system within Sanatan Dharma. So we spoke about Varna, then there's also Ashram. Ashram is, you can translate it as something like spiritual orders, progressions. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. The whole population was trained in Brahmacharya. Everyone at a certain age went in the Brahmacharya ashram, and what does Brahmacharya ashram teach? It's supposed to be student life. Swadhyaya, study, self-study, teaching, learning Vedic knowledge, because we have the whole life ahead. We have to understand how to live it. And we understand student life, okay, that is the second. Another is controlling senses. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasan Danta Guror Hitam. Danta Guru, the control of the senses. Acharandasa Nichao Guru Suhrda Sudurda. Then he will become very humble under the Guru. Guru will make him clean and polish and do menial service. So he becomes humble. When one is humble, knowledge can come. If we are not humble, knowledge cannot come, cannot sit. Therefore, in English, we have a word, understand. And as Prabhupada would say, understand means standing under. Not puffed up, but you have to come under, beneath, become humble, and knowledge can sit. So the whole population went through the Guru Brahmacharya ashram. What does that mean? Everyone was sense controlled. Everyone was knowledgeable. Whole society of controlled people. No concept of police or anti-riot, forces. No need. Self-policing society, controlled society. So, and then at a certain age, most of them got married, not all, but most of them will enter Grihastha ashram. Now they enter Grihastha ashram with full knowledge. What I have to do, what is the goal of life, who am I, what is God, what is this creation. And then in the Grihastha ashram, they had different duties. They would support the other three, because other three ashrams are renounced. Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. But Grihasthas are more in society. They'll produce and spread the wealth and support the other three. And those other three will produce spiritual knowledge and teach it to the Grihasthas. And then, but Grihastha ashram was not forever, not till death. It was about 25 years. By that age, the son would have grown up. So, at age 25, the son takes over. He takes care of the family. Then husband, wife, they renounce and together visit holy places and do seva, spend long periods there, then come back home. And that is Vanaprastha. But at a certain stage, the man, he may decide that now I'll take sannyas. At that case, then his wife will come home and be taken care of by the son and his wife and their family. And she'll renounce at home because woman has to be protected. And the man, he will take sannyas, and after inculcating so much knowledge and developing purity and gyan, he'll travel and preach. So these were the ashram which people went through. Not everyone will go through all of them. So we had the Varna and ashram. So society was divided, and we can see a thorough, complete system for teaching the jiva how to get liberation, how to come out of this material world. It's not easy, as we said, to say that I want to come out of this samskara chakra to stop the cycle of birth and death. It requires a lot of knowledge, training, guidance, and a whole social system has to be there. And that was here. That was all over the world, not only here. This was all over the world, the Vedic culture. So this culture was there, and people followed it, and as Krishna says in Gita, that Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Putamadbhava Magataha. He told Arjun, before you, many people became purified by taking up this knowledge and following it. Arjun became purified. Nashtamoho Smriti Lavdva. His illusion became destroyed. So Krishna is telling Arjun, not only you, now you want to, I'm teaching you, but before you, many people heard this and got perfection and got all success. So in this way, we are required to follow the system, the ashram and the varna, and to undergo different purification rites. So what is the purificatory thing in Varnashrama? Well, one is that everyone is engaged according to their nature. You see, now they put everyone in school, but some don't want to study, some can't study. But you put them in business, they'll do better than all the degree people, all the PhD people. They'll hire them in their company. What about army? Army, some countries have a rule, everyone should go in army. Some people are not fighters, some are. So who are fighters, let them join. And so in this way, it's not that everyone has to do everything. And so everyone who did whatever they do does it perfectly. And this was Vedic society. You get perfect businessmen, perfect warriors, perfect administrators, and labor class, they were perfect. So now in this society, what was the purification? That was one of them. One of the purification systems was this doing work and following the religious system according to our nature. Because we have Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, according to the nature people were able to follow. But there's something else. In Sanatan Dharma there is something called Samskar. It's mentioned in Shastra, Janmana Jayate Shudra, Samskare Bhave Dvijam. Actually at birth, everyone is a Shudra, everyone. One has to undergo Samskaras to be coming to higher Varna. Now no one is doing Samskaras. Therefore in Shastra it says, Kalau Shudra Sambhava. In Kali Yuga, there is no 4 Varnas, there is only one, that everyone is Shudra category. Why? Because Shudra category, they don't undergo Samskaras and only Shudra works for someone. But now 95% people are working. So, Samskaras, what is the meaning of Samskar? Sang means complete and Kar means purification. Samskar means purification. So what are Samskaras? Some of you may know, may not know. Here is a quote of Srila Prabhupada. He says in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Samskaras of the school of Sanatan Dharma, man's eternal engagement, are highly suitable for creating an atmosphere for taking advantage of good stellar influences. Very, maybe not understand. I explain. Therefore, the Garbhadan Samskar, or the first seedling purificatory process prescribed for higher caste, is the beginning of all pious acts for receiving a good, pious and intelligent class of man in human society. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that when we do Samskaras, for example, Garbhadan Samskar, Anaprashna, Upanayan, so many, even Vivaha Yagya, these are Samskaras. Total they are 16. Shodasha Vidha Samskar, 16. So it starts with Garbhadan Samskar. That is, before we even take the body and are born, then the man and woman, before uniting, they will do the Samskar. And they will pick a good Tithi, Nakshatra, maybe yoga, I'm not so sure all these things, but they'll pick a proper moment when they will unite. At that second, the jiva that comes will be of that varna. He'll actually be very elevated personality. So samskars were always done before. Because now they're not done, we are not taking that in one varna, that the child of this varna is that same as the parents, because they are not doing the Garbhadan Samskar. But in Sanatan Dharma, because of this Samskar process, all the jivas coming were very elevated, and so we had a whole kingdom, a whole Bharatvarsha, at that time whole world, of very pious, pure living entities. And then that time, Kshatriya child will be Kshatriya. After they do the Samskar, all of the children will be there. So this is advanced process of what today they are trying. Some people, what do they call? Have you heard of eugenics? Eugenics, you've not heard. So this is naturally in the Vedas, but Hitler tried something called eugenics. That means trying to organize society by picking out all the intelligent people or good looking people or not handicapped like that, and paying them to have more children. Or he was even killing handicapped people or killing people who are not having high IQ. He was trying to do social engineering in that German nation to make people super intelligent, he read a lot of Vedas actually. But this is the system. The Vedic system organized society in such a way that all the Varnas were present, all of them could perform the religious rite according to their system, and it was advanced, very powerful. That for millions and billions of years, everything India was ruling. And then gradually as this system broke down, then invaders came, it became not so like before. So the system of this Sanatan Dharma it was very elaborate. People would study like in the Gurukul, they'll study and understand the whole process and how everything is working. And so they'll fit in like a machine in this whole system. Just like you have a machine, there's so many parts and all is doing their part and the machine is working. So the Varnashram Dharma society, it was functioning perfectly. The rulers who were ruling, they were trained from age 5 how to rule and how to fight. And the business people, they were taught from beginning, they could understand business and trade. Krishi Goraksha Vanijam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. The 3 functions of the Vaishya: protecting cows, doing farming and trade. And for farming, they could understand everything. They could see the sky and understand rain is coming or not coming. They could understand everything. They even, according to Tithi, they'll plant and remove according to Nakshatra, they'll plant or remove or harvest and all this and get perfect. You get a good result like that. Now we don't know. People are just putting the seed whenever they want. But there was, even for that, there was a calculation. And common man had all this high knowledge. Common man could understand what is going on in the stars and the sky. So we cannot compare Sanatan Dharma to some mundane religion. We cannot do that. You cannot compare Sanatan Dharma like to even now what we say Hinduism, that's even a bodily identification. But Sanatan Dharma is religion of the soul. Who is the soul here? Nobody. Everyone is a soul. It's everyone's religion. Who is the soul in this whole planet? Sanatan Dharma is the religion of all the souls on this planet and other planets. It's the religion even of the dogs and cats, but they are not at that stage to practice. They don't have a human form. But when you get the human form, you can practice. The dharma of the soul is to serve. So Sanatan Dharma, it's a very high level. And even to understand it, we have to take time. What is it? But you have to understand, it's not on mundane material level, it's on a spiritual level. But it's now become mundanized because of identifying it with a country and a body. But actually, it is a soul. Nothing in the Vedas, it's all speaking about Atma. The Atma is spiritually elevated and liberated by following Varnashram Dharma. So, ISKCON as a society, Prabhupada said this, what we are teaching, you read this book, Science of Self-Realization. Prabhupada said this, that what we are teaching and practicing is not Hindu. It is Sanatan Dharma, what we are here teaching. And so, sometimes people, you're going to Western countries, people are joining, how is this? Actually, this is their original. They've come back to Sanatan Dharma. All of them. Even on other planets. Devalok, the demigod planets, them also. This is their original function. And so simply, we are bringing it back. But it's not easy to understand. But how to understand? We have to find sattvic intelligence. For that, we have to have a certain life, certain food, and certain social way of living. We have principles like suchi, muchi, what is considered contaminated, what is not contaminated. Even clothes affect us. The clothes we wear affects the mind. This Srila Prabhupada taught in the beginning of the movement in the West. And so in the West, in ISKCON, you see pictures of people are wearing dhoti, kurta, sari to work in the society. In Russia, in America, even Africa. I was 2 months ago in Africa. I've seen people just adopted this whole system. Of course, people wonder, what are you wearing? What is this? But if we live according to what we want people to please, then we cannot practice properly. So, Sanatan Dharma. What is Sanatan Dharma? Complex. We have to understand, but enough to understand that it's eternal. It's not temporary. Sanatan means eternal. So these principles what we spoke, which are explained in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, they don't have a beginning. So they have no end. Sanatan Dharma will always go on because the jiva will always be there. So the jiva will always have a system of practicing. So there are two meanings of Sanatan Dharma. One is his eternal duty of serving God. Another is when we forget that duty, the process to awaken it, the process to awaken bhakti to Krishna, that process is Sanatan Dharma, which includes the Varna, Ashramas, Samskaras. Samskaras people were performing and becoming purified. What is the last Samskar? At least that you will know. Antim Samskar. Yeah. And that's also very beneficial because that's not simply, there's certain mantras chanted, there's certain procedures by which the jiva will go on, he'll not stick to his body. You may think that's with everybody. No. When you bury the body, he doesn't move on. He is there waiting. You have so many ghosts in the graveyards. But when you burn the body, jiva goes on. Another thing is when you burn the body, that pap also is burnt. There's a lot of sinful actions which are burnt. It's a very beneficial system. So at least do the last one if we don't. But Prabhupada says it's maybe difficult to bring all of these back. But ISKCON's aim is to bring back the Varnashrama system and the samskaras and to create a very good population working perfectly oiled so that the jiva can practice bhakti. How can we practice bhakti in animal society? This society, animal society, based on sense gratification, politics, philosophy, economy, even religion is all based on how I'll enjoy this body. That's not the goal of life. Goal is attain self-realization. We have to replace the whole culture, the dress, the food, the social system. Everything has to be replaced. And so when Prabhupada went to the West, and what he's taught in ISKCON is to replace the whole culture. Somebody takes up this system and everything is changed gradually. Of course, there is no force, it's up to you. But it's a gradual process. And that practice is Sanatan Dharma, the practice of awakening that love of God. Hare Krishna. Question?
I heard something.
Yeah.
That the way of living is also called as Sanatan. It's not a
Way of living. Yes, correct. That is it. You see, Sanatan Dharma is two things. One is eternal occupation. The eternal occupation of the jiva is to serve God. That is his eternal duty, eternal occupation which he is doing. That is Sanatan Dharma. But he forgets that because of Maya. Maya grasta jeev, nahi svata Krishna gyan. Jiver kripa kaila Krishna ved puran. That the jeev does not know that I have to serve God. Who is God? Who am I? So, Jivera kripa kaila Krishna ved puran. So, Krishna has given the Ved and Puran to explain Sanatan Dharma. So, the way of living now that we are living, that is Sanatan Dharma also, which is going to awaken the Sanatan Dharma, that duty. So, way of living is also Sanatan. That's another way to say. Any other question? Yes.
Sanatan Dharma applies only to Jivatma.
No, the Sanatan Dharma duty is the duty of all the souls, but only in the body of this human form can we practice Sanatan Dharma. Can we practice it?
So other life forms.
Other cannot do it. Dog and cat, they don't have that consciousness. They are not given that consciousness. Yeah. So because of that, they are not able to practice. But the system to practice is for everyone. Sometimes you have very powerful Vaishnavas or Supreme Lord Himself, He empowers an animal to do bhakti. That's documented in some books.
And it doesn't apply to the Paramatma.
No, Bhagavan has no duty. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. God has no duty, nothing to do. God is enjoying, He's enjoying His Leela. We have duty, our duty is to serve God. God has no duty. He will enjoy in His Leela, morning to night, in different Leelas. Yeah.
What about taking care? I mean, we describe Vishnu as a preserver.
Yes.
So we used to say that he has a function, isn't it?
Vishnu.
For that matter,
Yeah, Vishnu, not Krishna. Not Krishna. Not Krishna.
Vishnu has a function.
Yeah. Krishna.
Shiva has that destroying function.
Yeah. Vishnu expanded for the purpose of managing the material world. This material world is managed by the three Vishnus, Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu and Kshirodaksha Vishnu. And Lord Shiva expanded, Shiram Tati Dadi Shiram Yatha Dadi Vikara Vishesha Yogat Samjayate Nahi Pratakasti Heto Yat. Then Shambhu, he is expanded from Vishnu, just like milk, that's like curd came from milk. So Shambhu comes from Vishnu to do a different function, has a little different quality. He has a function, Vishnu has a function, Krishna doesn't have any function. He will only enjoy. Yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna.